Hello and welcome to the final video on the Sparrow 2 Pro of the little mini series that I've been doing. If you haven't already checked them out, do check out both the setup video and the on-screen display setup video that I've already done. Now that has all been completed and it's about time to maiden this thing and to get the Maiden Flight to tell us a couple of things that we need to potentially tweak on the setup of the model. Don't expect the very first flight to be flawless because we have estimated the slightly nose up attitude in the setup. And we've also put the gain at the kind of 50% position just to see how that's going to work. So the Maiden Flight is about testing 2 or 3 basic things. First of all, is the nose up attitude, the level that we've set on the Sparrow, the right amount? It was guessed slightly nose up, so that means that as we're flying around in cruise mode, are we gaining or losing altitude? Also, as we move around and we fly, are we seeing vibrations as we kind of come to a stop? That kind of little shimmy means that the gain is probably too high, or huge oscillations would mean the gain is very high, or if it feels very sluggish, the gain is probably low. Now I have just guessed the gain at 50%, and I pretty much guarantee we'll have to tweak it slightly after the flight, but I'm going to be watching that. The third thing then we need to check is also potentially to trim it for manual mode. I have set the selectable flight mode to be manual, and that is in the middle channel position. So in preparation for the Maiden Flight, I would recommend that you do a couple of things. I have added the attitude information onto the on-screen display that's provided as part of the basic Sparrow stuff. So I can see both my roll and pitch. I want to see whether we need to fly with slightly nose down or slightly nose up as we're flying around to maintain the altitude at cruise throttle, because we're almost certainly going to have to come back and tweak that. I'll be very surprised if I got it right first guess. Second is I have configured the optional third flight mode as manual by making sure that this control is turned completely to the end. I have also set up a flight mode on the radio. Now, flight modes in Edge TX allow you to have trims just for that flight mode. So that means that when the switch is in the middle position for the manual flight mode, I've got it set up as I'm showing here, and that flight mode has its own trims. That allows me to trim for level flight in manual mode, and then when I flick back into stabilize or even return to home, then that trim is going to be removed from the control outputs. So essentially I'm just trimming for when I'm flying around in manual. It's important for us to potentially do that if you're going to be using a lot of manual flying. However, if you don't intend to use any manual flying, you can skip that step. And finally, make sure that there's an SD card in your goggles and it's set to record. When you start to fly, the Sparrow will automatically send the armed signal to the avatar or the DJI system that will start the recording if that's the way you've got it set up in your goggles. So don't worry about that. It should just happen automatically if you've got it configured that way in your goggle system. So now we have that prep stuff done, we're going to fly. Let's do a quick reminder of what you need to do at the field in order to get everything to work. Obviously, I'm going to plug in the stabilizer. Don't move the plane while the stabilizer is initializing. Let it initialize cleanly. If you don't do that and you're moving it around, it may lurch to one side when you throw it. We have told the stabilizer what level should feel like, and we need to let it just start up. Then the GPS will start to acquire satellites, and that might take a couple of minutes. Again, you can check how many satellites there are using the telemetry. If you're using Express LRS, the number of satellites is one of the things you can monitor via that telemetry screen. Once the GPS is locked, and we can tell it's locked because the ESC will give us those beeps, but also we will have a solid red light on top of the Sparrow V2. Once that red light goes solid, then we're ready to fly. So at that point, I'm going to plug in the stuff for the goggles. So that will start the avatar system in this particular instance. I'm going to switch the switch high on the radio. That's going to turn on Express LRS. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the throttle to the high position and low position quickly. That's going to unlock the Sparrow. We're now ready to fly. Now I'm going to launch it in the auto launch mode. So what I'm going to do is flick my mode switch so it's return to home, and then I am going to increase the throttle to 70-80%, enough for the model to be able to fly easily into the sky, and then I'm going to shake it. And as I shake it, that is going to initialize the spool up. It's going to spool up to that 80% throttle over a second or two. Once it's got to that full speed, I'm just going to throw it, and it's going to climb on its own up to 100-meter altitude, which is the default altitude for return to home. It's not changeable, sadly. And then once it gets to that altitude, it's going to just circle around the home location. While it's doing that, I'm going to put my goggles on and I'm going to get comfortable, and then when I'm ready, I'm going to put the mode switch back into stabilize, and I'm going to start flying around. And again, I'm looking for a couple of things here. As I'm flying around straight and level, am I gaining or losing altitude? And I am gaining altitude just a little bit, and I'm finding that if I put the nose down very slightly to about -2 degrees, that it's maintaining its height beautifully at the cruise throttle. So I'm going to have to redo the level, but that's fine. That was kind of expected. The other thing as I'm flying around, I'm noticing a little bit of a shimmy. That to me feels like the gain is set fractionally high. So when I land, I'll need to dial that back a little bit. I've also, in another flight, flown it as manual and trimmed it for manual flight, so that that flight mode, as I go into and out of it, will kind of put all the control surfaces in the right position. So now we know those couple of things. We know the level needs to be reset, the gain is a touch too high, and we've calibrated for manual. I can bring it into land and give a big sigh of relief. It flies beautifully. So back on the bench, what do we need to do? Well, first of all, we need to plug it all back in, set it on the bench so that the pitch and the on-screen display is showing that -2, and then go through the level calibration routine again in that exact attitude. That's going to reset the correct level for the flight controller in this model to maintain altitude at cruise throttle. Second thing we need to do is, if we are going to be using manual flight, I would just keep it the way it is. So I would have my manual trims stored on a different flight mode that's selected by the mode switch in the middle position for manual. However, if you wanted to keep it that way, you could copy that new trimmed channel positions to your basic channels and then go through the radio calibration again. Personally, I wouldn't do it that way. I would just have it set up like this. It just keeps everything nice and clean. And then finally, I'm just going to turn the gain control down just a fraction. And the next time I fly it, I'll see if it's better or worse. If it's worse, then I will turn it in the other direction. But that's how easy it is to do your first maiden flight, to get it all set up and working. This is a spectacular bit of kit for the kind of sub £30 that I paid for it. Not only is it a stabilizer that will provide stabilization, also provide me with easy hand launching, provide me with on-screen display from a HD system, and telemetry back to my CRSF based radio. It's been set up completely without turning on a PC. So hopefully that's been interesting for those of you that have been following along with the series. This is a spiritual successor to the wonderful ZOHD Copilot, which is sadly no longer available. Hopefully by the end of the series, you'll like me and you're considering putting it in other places. All the pilots that have seen this in real life have gone away and ordered one. So it's definitely worthwhile if you want all these features and functionality without messing around with iNav and flight controllers and USB cables and computers, something that you can set up and provide the vast majority of the functionality, sadly without the exception of changing the height for the return to home, or also sadly for me changing the height and speed information to be miles an hour and feet. But with those very slight niggles, this is a cracking piece of kit. Thank you for watching my video. Check out the playlist, and adding Pedantry 60 to your search terms will help you find my content. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. You can support the time I spend here answering questions and helping others by using the links in the video description.